Ah, is this me? I can't tell.
Yeah, we have an album review.
Really?
Kamelot,
Yeah.
with their new album, Haven. This is their 11th album, believe it or not. And it's the follow-up to 2012's Silverthorn. This is their second album with their new singer, Tommy Korevic. I hope I said that right. There you fucking have it. Let's talk about this shit.
I like this album. This album's really good. First thing I noticed listening to this album was with the mix, which was for the most part a lot better than Silverthorn, their last album, where listening to songs like Sacrimony, Angel of Afterlife, the keyboards or orchestration, whatever you want to call it in the background, is just like really, really like pushed forward in the mix, and the guitars are kind of drowned out by it a lot. And it's just like, it kind of, I mean, a lot of the songs from the album are good. It just bothered me a little bit that they did that. Whereas this album, I think a lot of times it's better. There's a couple parts, like on fucking Veil of Elysium, where it kind of falls back into that a little bit. But then, like, for the most part, yeah, it's better. You know, they do a better job of mixing everything a little bit better, which is my first thing, which is what I really hoped for from this album, is that it was mixed a lot better. I enjoyed a lot of songs from this album. Insomnia is a really good song. I thought Citizen Zero and then, like, Veil of Elysium is a really good song. Probably my favorite song is End of Innocence, which is, I like how that song opens up. The chorus, I think, is awesome, and like, I don't know, like, well, not that, well, I do know, this album's just really fun. I like Kamelot. Kamelot's one of those bands that, they're not high on my, like, bands that, like, I like to listen to, but, like, I understand, like, yeah, they're a pretty good band. And so, you know, this makes me want to listen to them a lot more, because this album's honestly pretty good. Guitar-wise, some of the riffs on this album are just awesome. It was a Beautiful Apocalypse we were listening to. We were listening to the album a little bit right before we got on. Like, the opening riff to that song's awesome. Mm-hmm. And then also I thought I like the, it's simplistic, but I like the riff in End of Innocence, the intro riff to that too. I think that's another really cool riff. Vocally, this album's good. What's the vocalist's name? I forget. Tommy, he's a good vocalist. He's really good. He's got it took me a little while to grow into to liking it. From, again, listening to a good bit of Silverthorn, where I've grown to appreciate it a lot more. Whereas for the first listen, I was like, yeah, he sounds good, but, like, it's just weird at parts. Now I've gotten used to it, and I really like, especially with a little bit of a better mix, everything kind of complements together, especially with his vocals on this album. Guitar-wise, like I said, the guitar riffs are awesome. The soloing's really good on this album. I like a lot of the solos on this album. And I like the writing. I think the writing on this album's pretty good. If it was like any... I feel like because they're symphonic metal band, if they weren't the fact... Because a lot of the songs I felt like had like an acoustic intro, and it kind of... To me, it seemed like maybe some of the songs kind of started off kind of samey like that, a few of the songs on this album, but then, like, because I'm like, oh, it's all, like, supposed to be big and epic, I was like, okay, that's almost kind of normal when you think about it that way. So, but, like, again, everything flows really, really well, whereas on Silverthorn, I thought a lot of times the guitarist kind of took a backseat to the orchestration. Now everything is a little bit, maybe not masterfully, sometimes I could tell that, yeah, oh, there's, you know, there's nothing, it's just a riff, which is cool. I think that it's great that they're not, you know, feeling like that they have to have some cool keyboard orchestration part in the background, but then, like, sometimes it's like, when they do it, I feel like some of the riffs are just there, underneath it, which may be like one of my very few gripes with this album, besides the sometimes inconsistent mix. But other than that, I mean, this album is fun to listen to. I was listening to it again earlier today, and I was digging a fire pit at my house, and I was jamming the fuck out of this while I was digging a hole in the ground. So I had a lot of fun doing that. It helped me get through that. So yeah, I like this album. This album's pretty cool. I like it.
This is some solid shit. Kamelot, to me, they aren't, like Keith said, like, when I think of, like, power metal and symphonic power metal bands, you know, Kamelot really isn't the first band that comes to my mind. But when I listen to them, I'm like, you know what, this band's fucking good. And they're solid. And I feel this album is really good. I feel it's way better than Silverthorn. Silverthorn was good, but, you know, it's just like, this band's been together now with their new singer. It's just so much better, and the songwriting is so fucking solid on here. My favorite song, it's the second track on here, is Insomnia, and that main riff is crunchy as shit, and then it just gets to the chorus, and which is so catchy and so just yes, and it has this dark atmosphere to it, and it just has this catchiness to it that just will get stuck in your head all fucking day. And there's a lot of songs on here like that. Veil of Elysium, End of Innocence, My Therapy. You know, there's some solid fucking songs on here. I feel not every song is solid though. Like, I feel the first track, Fallen Star, is kind of like whatever. Some of the songs towards the end are a little bit whatever to me. But overall, this is a really good album to listen to. I feel that Tommy Karevik, I hope I said that right. Tommy Boy. I hope, you know, I feel his vocals are solid. I really like, there's a lot of songs on here where the verse, it kind of calms down a little bit, you could say. And then it builds up, and then boom, big ass chorus. That's basically how a lot of the songs are structured. You know, I like his voice. He's got just a kind of unique voice, some almost soothing voice, kind of sexy. You know, it's just, it's cool. I like it. I don't know how else to describe it, just that it's cool. And, you know, there's some, and he's got some good fucking range to him. He doesn't go super fucking high, like, dude, I don't know how you're doing that, with some really, like, crazy ass screams or something, but he stays with what he's comfortable with. And I really, really like it. I just like the vocals on here. In terms of what Keith said with the mix, I do kind of agree with that. I feel like Veil of Elysium starts with a completely different mix than what it ends with. And I don't know, it's just weird to me. Overall, it's solid. I feel that the guitars, though, they have a hell of a lot more crunch on this album than they did with their last album. Like, the guitars are just in your fucking face. And there are some solid riffs on here. I like the riff in End of Innocence. Like, that riff is fucking cool. And it's just, it's solid. There isn't wicked guitar work on here. There's not wicked drum work. It's just, this band just wrote really great symphonic power metal songs. The orchestration's pretty good, and I feel what Keith said with the mix with that is actually fairly solid. I feel, you know, some bands, like he said, they push it to the front a little too much, and it just doesn't work out. You know, they're not a symphonic power metal band, but they're a symphonic band. Flesh God Apocalypse is a band that just pushes that shit to the front, and then you can't really hear the guitars. Not that you want to anyway, because it's all the fucking same. But you can't fucking hear them, and it's like, stop! Don't push that shit to the front so much. Give it a better, more well-rounded sound, and that's what this has. You know, the guitar work you can hear great, and sometimes, you know, the orchestration, symphonic stuff that's going on really, really goes really well. With the guitar riff, sometimes following it dead on. I just really like it. I really like the songwriting on here, and it's just solid. Like, from my first listen to this album, you know, I was like, this is a good album. This, you just get that feeling, like, oh, almost right away, that this is a good album. And you know, when it's good, it's really, really good. And I like this album. I like almost every aspect of it. Anything else?
No, I covered mostly my thoughts about this album.
Me too. what would you rate this on a digging fire pit scale?
Digging a fire pit. It got me through 2 hours of digging through a fire pit, or part of it, because I also listened to Corporal Clowney while I was doing it. But so it got me through 2 hours digging through a fire pit, which equates to about an 8 out of 10. So
I didn't dig a fire pit today. I raced some cars in the fucking video game while listening to it more. I listened to this album kind of all week, off and on. But in terms of racing cars, I've won a couple races, so that equates to about an 8.5 out of 10. So there you go. Haven by Kamelot on Napalm Records. Check it out.
Check it out.
Check it out. Basham.
See you tomorrow.